girls wait for me. I love to dance. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Gino, and this is my favorite show with my favorite guy. Let's welcome your host, Matt McCourt. Hi, everybody. I'm Matt McCourt, and this is Tell Me About It. And today we've got a special guest, my friend Jeff Thorpe from the band Vicious Rumors. And they're going on tour with Raven, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, hi, Jeff. How are you doing?
Doing great, Matt. Great to see you, man. And thanks so much for having me on your show.
Oh, thanks for coming on. I had John Gallagher last night.
Great.
Yeah, so hopefully people will know about this great tour with Raven, Vicious Rumors, LUTHARO, and Wicked.
Absolutely, man. We're so excited about it because, you know, it's funny. We've been doing shows and festivals and one-offs and then occasional short 2 to 4 show runs with Raven for years, and been, you know, we love the guys and been friends with them for a very long time. But this is the first time we've actually, you know, paired up and done such a massive tour together. And I just think, you know, it's from coming from 2 of the long time surviving bands, joining forces, ready to take no prisoners every night. And, you know, that's one thing that Raven and Vicious Rumors really have in common is that, you know, we're live bands and we play for that action live, and really looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, man, I love John. We've been friends since we played with Anthrax and Raven in 1984. And
absolutely, man.
We've just stayed friends. He's a great guy, man.
Yeah, and they all are.
So is Mark.
They all are.
I haven't met the new drummer, but man, that drummer really smashes it.
Great guy, great drummer. It's going to be just an awesome tour. And it's night after night. I got to tell you, this is the most intense schedule that I've ever done. I mean, I didn't do a tour this hard in my 20s. I mean, it's basically like 40 shows in 43 days or something like that. There's a few travel days, but it's just nonstop action. So I'm ready to hit the ground running, man. We take off on the 20th for Florida. Larry, myself, and Steven, and then Brian and Gunnar fly in shortly thereafter, and we start and finish the tour in Florida. So, which, you know, we fly in, and we have to it's a little bit harder logistics also, because, you know, we're a West Coast band. So, you know, we got to fly to Florida with everything we need till we get back to San Francisco. But luckily, it's like 10 shows in. So after 10 shows, we're back at home. We pick up the rest of our stuff, finish the tour, and it's just going to be a hell of a ride.
Yeah, and feed your cat.
Yeah, right.
Not like Anthony Jeselnik. You said, you know, Anthony Jeselnik's a comic. He said, I got a dog. It didn't last long. It died of starvation, and they won't give me a refund.
That's it, man.
Oh, yeah, John told me that the UK tour with Girls' School and Alcatraz was sold out the whole time. So,
a good package.
Yeah, and the album's doing great, so I think you guys are going to get a lot of people.
Yeah, you know, there's strength in numbers, man. And I'll tell you, last year's U.S. tour for Vicious Rumors was a really great tour for us, and we've had a lot of momentum the last couple of years, and you know, we did some shows in the Netherlands with Raven over the summer, and that's when, you know, I started talking to the guys about, you know, hey, you know, let's talk about a package again, and so like the timing just worked out perfect, and you know, for us this time around, we're not supporting a new album, but what we're doing is we're sort of celebrating the 45th anniversary of the band by playing the first album Soldiers of the Night in its entirety. And, it's funny because we didn't start touring, extensive touring till the Digital Dictator album. So the Soldiers of the Night album really never had a proper tour. And Larry and I were laughing the other night, just going like, can you imagine, like, when we recorded that album, we never thought the tour would follow in the year 2024. But, here we are. It's been a really fun album to play. It's the raw energy of that album, and there's some of the first songs I wrote, and it's a lot of fun. It's a high energy set, and so this is going to be the first time in North America that we've ever done this kind of a thing with this album. So it's going to be I think a really good package all the way around, with Raven's new album and us celebrating the Vicious Rumors album, and the other bands are really cool too, man. So it's going to be a great night.
And
night after night, night after night,
night after night. Soldiers of the Night, that came out in Shrapnel, right? Before you got any more.
Yeah. It was also, not only was it Vicious Rumors' first album, you're right, it was legendary guitarist Vinnie Moore's first album. And man, he just played with so much fire on that album. And it was just a great time for heavy metal. In the 80s there, of course, metal was king. And it really perpetuated Vicious Rumors. For Soldiers of the Night, the strength of Soldiers of the Night and Digital Dictator, got us signed to Atlantic Records. And then from there, with the real world touring really kicked in. And from that point on, I've sort of been able to steer the ship through, keep the momentum going, keep the ball rolling, man. We love it, man. We're celebrating our 45th year in Vicious Rumors, man. And Larry and I still love the action. We got a great bunch of guys with us, an amazing guitar player, Gunnar DeGray. Stephen Goodwin's going to fill in for Robin on this U.S. run, and then Robin will return to the band for the European leg.
And you have Brian Allen back.
And I was just going to save the craziest part for last. Our long lost son has finally come home.
I'm glad I could connect you.
That's right, everybody. The reason that we have Brian Allen is this good looking guy right here. Matt hooked us up. Matt and I were talking, and as we've done throughout the years, just talking shop about music and stuff. And Brian has been the one singer besides Carl Albert who's now going to be on 3 studio albums and a live album and a DVD. So Brian's really, he's got a real history with Vicious Rumors, and we're real happy to have him back. He stepped in, and we had this awful situation. Yeah.
You were really skeptical. I said, I've got a singer that can sing like Carl. And you go, I don't believe it. And I sent you the videos of his band, Last Empire. I said, if you're interested, call me back. And about 20 minutes later, I'll take that number. And I don't think Brian knew what he was in for. But boy, he just took off like, I did that with Dean too.
Yeah, when Brian joined the band, we had one of our busiest years up to that point in 2011. We did something like 92 shows in Europe, which is sort of unheard of. We did three 20-date runs in different parts of Europe, and then during those 3 runs, we did 3 shows with Hammerfall. And on the last show with Hammerfall, they invited us to go back all around Europe again and do another 32 shows or something with them in bigger venues in all the cities we had just hit. So it was just a monster year. And that was, Brian's first entry to the band. And, now we got him back. I threw him right in the fire again, 40 shows in a row. And, but Brian's a natural, man. A lot of people look at our schedule and they're just like, how does the singer, how can he do it? How can he possibly do it? But let me tell you,
Coca-Cola.
There's there's a difference between guys that kind of force it and guys that can do it, but maybe they struggle with it or have to work at it. And then there's the handful of guys that there's such naturals at it that they can do it day after day after day. And Brian is really one of those guys. Even when he's not feeling well, he sounds amazing. So, but luckily for him, it's only about 38 minutes worth of music of him singing every night. It's an hour set. So we're going to take good care of him and take care of each other because, we're not getting any younger these days. These tours are getting harder and longer. So, but man, I feel real lucky, man. Real lucky to be at Vicious Rumors for 45 years. And
That's a long run.
Very grateful to all the past members, the members I have now, all the partners, friends, and people who helped us along the way. And that's what, the small world of heavy metal is really like that, man. It's kind of a small world of people internationally, that know each other, as you know. And it's a tight family, man. And we're ready to take it on once again.
Was Anders Johansson drumming for Hammerfall at the time you toured with him?
Yes, he was.
He's a great guy. We played.
Oh, he's so funny.
Yeah, we played with Rising Force and Talus in Sacramento, and that was when they got rid of me and then asked me back, and so I went down. I pulled up behind Yngwie's bus because I would talk to Yngwie when he was at Mike Barney's house all the time when he lived there, and I got on the bus and he said, "Hey," and they were all in there. "I'll get you a hotel room." They got me a great hotel room. The guitar player and the other van went down with Dean, and we got this great hotel room for nothing. And the other guys stayed in some place down the road. But those guys. He's funny now, but and a great drummer.
I'll tell you a funny story. I was, I have kind of a funny history with Yngwie myself. When Mike Varney had him first come to America, when he was completely unknown, of course, you and I were some of the people who Mike shared Yngwie's music with early on, before people knew who he was.
Yeah, the demo.
Yeah, the demo and stuff. And so, I was really blown away by that. And I was at Prairie Sun one day. I was there just by chance the day that he arrived. And Mike was at Prairie Sun also. And he's all, "Hey, man, remember that guy, Yngwie? We listened to it at my house." I'm like, "Oh, of course, man." He's all, "Hey, he's here. Why don't you go say hello to him?" So I ended up going down, and we kind of introduced myself, and I was kind of like his first American friend. It's funny, man. But I ended up hanging out with the dude for hours, man, for about 3 days in a row.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah, great guy.
I know, very friendly and funny. Even his sense of humor is that giant wall of amps that he uses now.
It's cool.
I commented on some posts. I go, I get your sense of humor. That is the best joke of all.
I love it.
It's like, hey, you want to think this way about me? Here, load in my gear. My amp is in the truck.
Hey, his very first show in San Francisco at the old Waldorf with Steeler, he used all my Marshalls and stuff. And so it's kind of it's funny. And he's always been so gracious to me every time. He always remembered me. He's always been so cool. And so when we were on tour with Hammerfall, I was always asking him, the drummer, of course, about some experiences he had with Yngwie. And so we were talking one day, and he was telling me this story. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the story, Oscar from Hammerfall walks in. And then Jonas changes his tune, and he goes, all of a sudden, he goes, "So you see, Jeff, I've played with the best guitar player in Sweden and the worst." And and then, of course, Oscar's just like, up yours, man, but he just had that funny kind of sense of humor. Of course, that's completely not true. Oscar is a great writer and guitar player, but but he's just a funny guy. And yeah, we had a great tour with Hammerfall. Had a lot of amazing tours throughout the years. Sabotage, Death Angel, Blind Guardian, Accept. So it's just a lot of our own tours, and it's just we're just reaching a point. Like it's been amazing. Like we actually got to the point where we've toured the last 5 years, except for during the pandemic, but on our classic albums. We did a bunch of our albums turned 30. And so we've been around so long that we were able to go and do these tours, where we're playing the whole album, and people showed up to see it. They've been supporting it, and it's great. But I want to let everybody know we're definitely going to make a new record, and we're already writing and demoing stuff, and definitely another kick-ass Vicious Rumors studio album with Brian Allen's on the way.
Great. Hey, isn't Blind Guardian the band that has a guitar player that plays keyboards and guitar at the same time? He do stuff on his left hand and played on keyboards too.
I'm not sure about that one, bro. They're talented guys, so I wouldn't be surprised. But.
Some Guardian, I see him on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, man, I talked to Mike. Mike Barney and I still talk quite often, and he's producing blues albums and stoner rock bands.
That's cool.
He's such a stoner.
Right.
Yeah. Well, why do you think they did it in Prairie Sun? The guy that owned the property, Clive, man, he was the head of the California Pot Growers Association.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you must have known that.
I did not know that, but it's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember when we were recording Digital Dictator, and I brought Carl there, and this is something I didn't even think of. You've been to Prairie Sun, right? You know where it is.
I was there in 1980.
Yeah, exactly.
I recorded with a band called Harlow.
Oh, cool. Harlow. Sure, I remember Harlow.
With my friend Kip Doran on guitar.
When I brought Carl to Prairie Sun, and I didn't even think about this. He's just like, we go through those gates and pull up to the studio, and he goes, "Oh, great, Jeff. The studio's in the middle of a hayfield." And I was like, I didn't even think of that. But and at the time he had some kind of intense allergies. And I remember he had to take some allergy medicine, and it wasn't the most comfortable environment for him just because of that. But, he still made history with Digital Dictator.
And you used to, we stayed there with Wild Dogs, and we slept in the Moose Lodge. Remember the Moose Lodge that had the pool table and every issue of Playboy ever made? And then they made a chicken coop into a place we stayed at, and we're sleeping, and this noise, scratch, in the middle of the night, and the place is roving, and people were waking up going, "It's an earthquake." And I open up the window. There's a big horse's butt right in the window. The horse is scratching his ass on this chicken coop.
Yeah, it was a farm.
I love that place. And the video games up in the office.
Muko was always a great guy.
Yeah. I talked to him. His daughter lives in Portland.
Oh, cool. Oh, we're coming to Portland too, April 5th. We'll be there.
This is going to be on cable access TV. It'll probably play 10 or 15 times, and I'll turn it in as soon as I get.
That's great, man. Vicious Rumors is kind of spread out these days. We started out, we were all in the Bay Area, but now Portland is kind of a home base for us too, because of course with Brian and Gunnar both being from the Great Northwest, and then it's kind of cool, having multiple hometown shows.
You had a bass player that played in Gunnar's band that was here before, right?
That's right. On the on the Digital Dictator anniversary tour, Cody came out, Gunner's guitarist from Chronological Injustice, came out and did the bass for us, and came out and did the tour, and did a great job. It was really awesome having him in the band.
I see Gunner's post, and he's really stoked about this tour.
Yeah. Oh man, he's if you're going to go out and support an album that featured a guy like Vinnie Moore, then it's great to have a guy like Gunner, because he's playing it. He's doing that Vinnie Moore style, but he's also throwing in a little bit of his own thing, but really paying tribute to the original way it was laid down. And he's just doing a fantastic job. And like, as Larry and I got together and we had a little rehearsal last week, and we're gonna get together again Sunday before we meet everybody up in Florida. And we're just having a really fun time playing this music and celebrating the history of Vicious Rumors. And we're one of the last of our kind, man. And we're just going to go out with a bang, and we're going to play for blood and play as hard as we can every night. So
I just don't see how you remember all the parts in your songs.
It's funny because there's so many albums, right? But we just go back and sometimes I have to go back and kind of relearn it. Like, oh yeah, okay, I remember that, But
I mean, there's our whole set list of changes with Wild Dogs or Dr. Mastermind in one song.
Yeah. Our stuff's pretty straight ahead metal, man. So it's not really, my writing has never really been like some kind of rocket science or something. It's pretty much meat and potatoes,
Baloney. I'm meat and potatoes. I'm a blues guy. I know. I listen to that stuff and I go, I told Brian, how do you remember that stuff? And I'm assuming that Brian paid it forward and brought the Blood Gunner on and Cody on.
Yes, I met both those. I met Gunner through Brian as well. Yes.
I'm really glad I got a couple guys in good bands like Brian with these guys that gave him a career, and Dean. When we did Dr. Mastermind, part of the budget was, to move. I said, look, Mike said, can you get Mike or Dean to play? And I go, yeah. Because I thought he was going to hook me up with a drummer, too. He sent me, I wanted to get Ingve, but he's busy. And then Paul Gilbert was the next guy he sent me up with. And Paul's got a sense of humor, but it's not congruent with mine. And so he turned me on to the guy that replaced Ingve and Sealer, Kurt James. And he was also the guitar player for Project Driver, the first guy. And
oh, yeah.
Anyway, I said...
Great guitar player.
Yeah, great bass player. He does a Jocko tribute thing. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I said, Dean needs to get out of Portland. They're paying him like a half gram of weed to keep him in the band. And $5 for gas to drive 40 miles up to practice. And so he said, yeah, I can do that. In fact, I'll give him a paid gig in Tony McAlpine. And so, let's put some of the money for the recording will go to moving Dean down there. And so we did. And
yeah, he's amazing in Journey, really.
And he got a singer that sang on Tony McAlpine, and he also brought Todd Jensen into Journey to play bass. He's from Portland. And Todd has been with David Lee Roth, Alice Cooper, and
sure,
I can't remember who else. All these guys that have hair. I got shortchanged, so I'm doing this. I really like doing this. I've been hosting shows since 1983.
I know you've been at it a while. I can't believe this is my first time on, but
I just started this on December.
It won't be my last.
I just started this December, so I've had some pretty good stuff. And hey, speaking of that, you're a child actor. You were on Hawaii Five-0, And,
That's true.
Courtship and his father. And weren't
Yes,
you on
sir.
weren't you on that show that had Michael J. Wagoner, Dinah?
Medical center.
Oh.
Yeah, Chad Everett.
Oh, were you the kid screaming, "Help me, help me"?
And then 10 years later,
Hey,
the
man.
heavy metal was born.
But if you know how film is done, making records is easy.
I was lucky. I had, two really creative parents. My mom was a studio dancer for MGM, and my father was a USO organizer, and in the war, World War II. And then when he got out of the war, he invested in theaters in Hollywood. And so I was just lucky. I had very creative, artistic parents, and then when I at an early age, showed interest in acting and then in playing music, they were, just very supportive. And then when I remember back into the 70s and my other friends in Hawaii, and I remember that I was the only young kid that I knew out of all my other friends that wanted to be musicians or whatever, but I was really the only one who had the support of their parents. And so, that makes a big difference, man. And, for an example, there's another perfect example of that in Right in Vicious Rumors with, Daryl Richardson, Gunner's father, who also is our promo guy. He's been behind Gunner since day one of him being a young musician, and had that support, and now Gunner at a very young age is a world-class virtuoso, and of course that's Gunner putting in the work. But without that support, without that kind of support that he got from his dad and his mom, it's could have been another story, and so we were both very lucky to have supportive parents like that.
Yeah. What island are you from? I was born in Tripler Hospital on Oahu.
Oh, no way! I didn't know that, man.
Oh yeah, and
I was actually born in Los Angeles, but I grew up. I moved to Hawaii when I was 6. Because my father got the location casting gig, location casting director for Hawaii Five-0. So that's why I moved to Hawaii when I was 6.
My dad did security on Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah.
He was in the
And
Marines.
it was on Oahu too, of course. Yeah, I went to Kahala and Kaimaki Intermediate, Kahala, Kalani High. Amazing.
And we lived.
I was just there too on a stopover. We just played Japan in December, and we stopped in Hawaii. And I hadn't been there in years. And it was just a 3-hour layover.
Different.
I just wanted to go look around and see if I could find some friends, but of course we couldn't leave the airport. But it was. I feel very lucky, man. I had supportive parents. We rocked in Hawaii. We were keeping the heavy metal dream for 45 years. So, life is good, my friends. Live it well.
When I was a baby, we lived right on Kalakaua.
Oh, okay.
Right where before Discovery Bay was built, but right next to where that is now. Kind of right by the Ilikai.
I did not know you were born there. That's cool, man.
My dad said he had me swimming in the, the Hilton Hawaiian Lagoon. That wasn't the Hilton Hawaiian Village yet. I had you in the water when you were just fresh born a week. Well,
Nice.
That place feels like home to me. But if you're a rocker, the only place you could play was like the Jazz Cellar.
Yeah,
And
right.
that you can smell the pee from the stairs. I went there to stay with my dad, and he had a boat in the Alawai Harbor, and I would stay there and would roam the streets at night and I went to the jazz store and I found a guy that was a drummer, Rick Baggett, that lived in Portland. It's like, of all the people in the world, I run into this guy, and it was crazy. It's all totally different now. People tell me that it's not even the same place, Hawaii.
Yeah.
Honolulu. On all the working
I'm looking
girls
forward to
out
going back someday, hopefully with the band, you know.
there. Yeah.
But in the meantime, we got this monster U.S. tour. It's like 35 dates in the States, 5 shows in Canada, 12 shows in Europe, 1 show in Mexico City, and we're sort of discussing details of a South American tour for later in the year. So we're as busy as we've ever been, Matt. And
You just got back from Japan too, right?
yeah, we just got back from Japan in December, and we did 55 shows last year.
Wow.
And we're on track to do about 75 this year, and we're gonna make a new record. So we're on a roll. It feels good, and just let's keep heavy metal alive and well, man.
So let's tell the people you're on tour, Vicious Rumors, with Raven, LUTHARO, and Wicked, and they start next Friday in Florida, and they go all around the country and Canada, and you guys should go out and check it out. It's going to be a real good package.
Thank you, man. Yeah, March 22nd to May 4th.
Wow.
40 nights of heavy metal.
Yeah, it's going to kill Brian. Oh, well, what a way to go. He'll die with your boots on.
That's it, man. That's it, brother.
Hey, man, you got him to grow his hair. I only knew him as, short-haired Brian. Good job.
Hey, man, Matt, thank you so much for having me on the show, man. And keep going strong, brother.
Thanks. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll get this up here pretty soon. And good luck with the tour, and good luck with the album, and keep going, man.
Yes, brother. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeff Thorpe from Vicious Rumors. I'm glad he came on, and nice to see you. I've known you for, since 1981.
Absolutely, Matt. Real pleasure to see you, man. I'll give you a call from the road, okay? I'll give you a road report.
Yeah, let's do one of these from the road.
Oh, that'd be fun, man. That'd be fun.
With John. It would be fun.
Yeah, and I'll grab Brian and Gunnar, too.
Okay.
Larry and stuff. Okay, cool, man.
I'll see you later. Thank you very much.
Take care, my friend.
Bye. That was Jeff Thorpe from Vicious Rumors, and they're going on tour with the Raven and LUTHARO and Wicked all over the States, and go check them out. Thank you. I'm Matt McCourt. This is Tell Me About It.